Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Our Parliament, and I am your host, Iguma Gabriel. Today we're discussing the Biotechnology and Biosafety Bill, known as the GMO Bill. You can follow this discussion on Twitter. Just go to our handle, which is Our Parliament TV. On Facebook, we are on Our Parliament. That's the page that you'll follow. Before we went for the break, we had a question from Rachel. Honorable Joshua Nwarach, has Parliament handled this bill in a way that it's only focusing their attention on finding the views of the elite?
Let me sound a semi-scientist here. The same questions I carried the questions when I went to South Africa. Honorable Boa is here, Honorable Sechitoriko is here. We went to South Africa together. And I asked a farmer who is actually practicing the GM technology. I asked the farmer a simple question, that what will happen to our organic variety in the event that you're planting the GM crops in the neighborhood of organic variety? Now, what we were told was that the forces of, pollination, cross-pollination, and so on, may later defile the organic crops. And eventually they will develop the traits of GM. And therefore, to avoid that, there must be deregulation of season. When the GM man is planting his, you should still be tilting your garden as a farmer. And two, you must also separate the gardens by a distance of 500 minimum, 500 meters. Yeah. And also we asked them a question of, how about replantable seeds? Remember, we're talking about open pollinated seeds, which can easily be replanted and you still receive very good yields. But here, when you're talking about the for example, the BT technology, which is introduced into the open pollinated crops, what will happen is that they will automatically receive very poor yields with progressive planting. Now, a farmer must therefore run to seed companies.
Yes.
Now, the fear is?
Yes, the fear is?
How will a farmer sustainably buy those seeds for a period of time that the farmer is still surviving?
But you are the MPs. You were consulting the farmers. Were you able to go and find this out, or to try and educate the farmers at the grassroots, like Rachel has asked?
I thought I'm on point. I'm actually bringing report. I'm bringing report from a farmer who is not like from Erusi, from Nebi, where I come from, but a farmer who is presumably already enjoying the benefits of GM. Now, and therefore from there, what lesson would we learn back home?
Okay.
That's the question.
What would we learn?
And then the other thing is, when we went to Kenya, well, in Kenya we were told that there was IRMA maize, that is insect resistance maize for Africa, which was being tried by Syngenta Foundation, and it was tried for 10 years. But their findings finally was that it wouldn't be practicable for farmers in Kenya. That also continued in Egypt, where the local breed called Ajip, I think Ajip or Ajep, I'm not an Arab to pronounce.
An Egyptian.
This is a traditionally bred from probably variety that later into which was genetically introduced what we call water resistance trait, which actually was supposed to come from a variety called, for me I call it Monsanto 810. I think I'm right. Now,
we are going to come over to Dr. Chigundu, who is either going to
technically speaking,
what you've said.
Technically speaking, the universities in Egypt later released the findings that actually the water resistance traits were already, traditionally introduced into these crops.
The organic crop or the
organic crops.
Okay.
But now, a person who introduces the MON, 810 trait, the MON 810 trait, takes their pride for introducing water resistance traits. Now, that is where patentability comes. Now, the people in Egypt cannot therefore afford the Ajep traits for free. You are supposed to pay for it, which actually is wrong, because the traits inside there, we are told, was introduced by traditional breeding.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Nwarach. I have Honorable Kafero in the audience. Kafero Sechitoreko. He's the Vice Chairperson of the Science and Technology Committee of Parliament, the Standing Committee. Honorable, you went on these trips with Honorable Nwarach. Has he given us an accurate account of what happened on those trips?
Thank you so much, Gabriel. Whereas there's some truth in the Honorable Nwarach's argument, there's something that has not come out properly, and I would like the public to get to know about it. The rationale of this bill is to facilitate safe development and application of modern biotechnology, and also provide mechanisms to regulate research, development, and general release of GMOs. Now, my brother, there is this perception by the public that this bill is intended to introduce GMOs into Uganda. That is a wrong perception.
Honorable, do you think that the public just got that view out of a blue?
No. It is, of course, being propagated by a group of people. Yes, of course, they have their facts. But there's something I want the public to know. GMOs are already in Uganda, even without this law. We were in the Biosafety Authority of Kenya. They did confirm to us that on several occasions they have approved GMOs in transit to Uganda. And these come in form of humanitarian food aid. And let me tell you one thing. They cannot bring GMOs to Uganda without the consent of the authorities to the country of destiny. Meaning, our executive here in Uganda sanctions the importation of GMOs. Me as a parliamentarian, I have a duty to perform, a fundamental duty of oversight on the activities of the executive. But I cannot achieve that without a legal framework.
And so you need this law to pass in order to have the legal framework to... Okay, all right. Honorable Sechitoleko, I'm going to come back to you. I have a gentleman right behind you, Morrison Rakakamba. Morrison, have the farmers understood what this debate is actually about? Because I know that you've written extensively on this issue.
You see, we have a problem with the objective of this bill. We need the law. I do agree with the preceding Honorable Member of Parliament who said something like that. But we need this law for different reasons. We need the law, in our view, to protect this country from proliferation of GMO. We need a country to be able to detect the movement of germplasm. If it is GMO, stop it at Maraba.
Like what the Honorable Member said is already coming in through
and
Kenya.
If you're saying it's already around, yes, you can do this retrospective registration. Let the law enable the committee of scientists, Ugandan scientists, to detect where GMO is and destroy it. And when I went to Kawanda, BBC invited us there, you see, and Kawanda is busy doing GMOs illegally, you see. So we urgently need a law to make sure that people at Kawanda perhaps answer certain questions, you see. Gabriel, the other aspect is people who are promoting this kind of technology, they want to brand those people who think differently as naive, as backward, as against modernity. And I want to tell the audience and viewers that there is good science and bad science. We are for science, but we are against bad science. And we do believe that GMO is bad science. And I don't want to even go to the science of it. Let's go to the strategic economic interests of Uganda as a net exporter of agricultural products. Japan has got a GMO, an organic market of 41 billion US dollars. United States, 61 to 62 billion US dollars for organic products. China, around the same. This is a market that is available for organic. Okay? As a country, even if we decided to transform our economy into a GMO economy, are we going to be competing with Canada to harness those markets? Are we going to be, competing with Texas, United States in exportation of genetically modified organisms? I don't think so.
Okay, Morrison, thank you very much.
Finally, Gabriel, is that Ugandan farmers are de facto organic and conventional farmers. There are many things that our MPs can be doing better, like making sure that our farmers have the credit they need, making sure that our farmers have other policies that should allow them become efficient on the farm.
Okay, thank you very much, Morrison.